What is up? What is up? What is up? So today, I'm bringing you a trade breakdown of a trade that I attempted to take this past Friday and was not able to just because I forgot to roll over my contract to the June contract. It was the 15th, right? So yeah, that's the cutoff date. You're supposed to do it at, you want to do it sooner than later. I feel like when January came around, I didn't wait till the middle of the month. I pretty much did it on the first, I think, no later than the first couple days of the month, right? Yeah, so remember to roll over your contracts, guys. I'm gonna leave a clip, maybe of me doing the pre-market analysis right there before the open, and you'll see it's the end of the contract's term, so there wasn't even really a lot of data. When I switched over to the new contract, kind of even the price action just was fuller. It wasn't different, but it was fuller, yeah. So either way it goes, it would have been a winning trade, right? So I think it's still something good to go over and review, and you kind of always want to review your trades and stuff so you have that data. The more data the better, because this is a game of probability, so you want to understand fully what are your chances, with certain systems or styles of trading, strategies, confluences, or things that you may use as confirmations. You just want to be able to understand their performance over a span of time, so that's why I do these videos, not only for you guys, but so I too can be able to reflect and just use the data to my advantage, right? So let's go ahead and get into the breakdown. So since it was Friday, I didn't really start on a weekly. I just hopped straight to the daily, right, and started marking up my levels. And so coming into today, right, I'm gonna just use this new price data and we'll see how things play out, because also the old contract had slightly different data. For example, this candle right here didn't close above this wick right here, so technically this was our high on our previous contract, but now this is our high that we broke to create this high. And since this is the high, now this is our low, right? Because this is the lowest point price came down to, and we can see too kind of that this is a valid kind of area that price came up to, had a reaction, then came above, and then came back to and had a reaction, right? So it's not really gotta be too precise right here, especially when you're looking at a daily time frame, which we know more or less price may not exactly hit these levels anyway. Daily time frames tend to be more like a zone, right? And so let me actually mark this stuff. So we have our breakup structure, we have our lows marked. Now I'm marking the high, and this is exactly what I did going into Friday, and this is exactly pretty much my process. Go ahead and save that just in case something happens and I have to reopen the app or something or restart it. So right, and so on the daily time frame, we could see that we were in a bullish structure, as well as on the 4 hour, right? So on the 4 hour, this was basically the high that we broke. It might be hard to tell, so I will kind of draw the path so you could just see it. If I could get this where I needed to go, boom. And because this is 4 hour structure, I mark it in blue, right? So we had this was our breakup structure, this was our new high that was formed, and these were the lows basically on the 4 hour time frame. So again, bullish on both time frames now, right? And like I said, if you can't really see how this turned bullish on the 4 hour, right? So look, we had our lows here, we came up as high as here, right? Boom. When we came this high, actually let me let me do this again, right? Because it's kind of hard to tell, but actually this is where we came up to, right? And then we came down here, created a low, then we broke that structure and created this higher high. And then it wasn't until this point that we broke this low, pulled back, created this lower high, and then, continued the downtrend for a little bit up until this point where we got a change of character, and then price pulled back down to here, and we kind of just had a nice pullback, but we did not close above this high, and then we ended up taking out this low and continuing the downtrend up until this very point where we are now, which the pullback has actually finally came and broke the high, created a new structure, and now price can essentially come as low as here and still come back up and give us a higher high based on the current swing structure that we have marked up here in this blue, right? So from there, what did I do? I went to the 15-minute, and price was basically right here. So we had just broken structure to the downside coming into the day, which gave us our higher high here, or I'm sorry, our lower high here, break of structure here, and essentially right before the open, this candle closed and created a lower low that was here. And then prior to that, right, so one thing to notice was this break of structure came off of this daily level, right? So I kind of thought price had a strong chance of pulling back to that level, or maybe retesting, because when you have a break of structure, you don't want to just take the breakout sell, right? When price created this candle, you could have, but you may want to wait for a pullback, right, to actually sell to take out this low. So essentially where you could have took your sell was on this wick right here when it pulled back to a POI level, which we could see actually this VWAP was right here, and I'm sure there was probably some sort of structure on the lower time frame. Again, I was looking at the other contract, so this big push down that was happening coming into the day, kind of didn't really notice, right? Let's just go down to the 1 minute, right? Because once I marked up my 15-minute structure, that's what I did, right? And price, like I said, was already super low, and as soon as that candle closed, right, I wanted to take my buy simply because now that we had this candle close and we had this break of structure, I kind of suspected, a pullback at some point to a POI level, and we could have, ideally you would have expected it to go like this, right? Because we had, our low formed, we created a high and broke this structure right here, and then we came down and we broke this low, created this low right here, and then we pulled back, and ideally price could come as high as here or here before creating another low, right? So I was kind of targeting this level with the buy, right? Yeah, so I was targeting that level with the buy. I had noticed we had pretty much the same structure as our 1 minute structure too. Our swing structures on the 1 minute, because we could see that once we broke this structure here on the 1 minute, we had a pullback down to here, then we kept pushing up. Oh wait, okay, so let me follow this correctly. So then it wasn't until here that we had a change of character, and then price pulled back up to test the resistance. We had a tweezer top rejection, and then from there price did not go up and break these highs. So at this point we got our break of structure from the 1 minute right here, right? So look, boom, and I do my 1 minute in yellow. So once we had our break of structure here and created this low, all that there was left to do was wait for a pullback to our resistance, which would have been here, and we essentially got that. Like I said, price rejected right here. You could have entered your sell position right here, stop loss above the resistance, in that candle as well, and then you could have targeted the low, right? Or really you could have just targeted right here, since we did get that change of character and a pullback. But essentially we know that we had that break of structure on the 15 minutes, so we could ride this out even lower, because we did just come from a break of structure here. So when price came down to here, we had yet to actually break these lows. So yeah, no, we probably would have gotten out right around here, if I'm being honest, right? And then that's why coming into the day, since we had made this push down, it was kind of clear to me that price would want to essentially, push back up at the open. And so I'm lying. Don't let me lie to you guys. This is old price action. So yeah, once we came down to here, I probably would have got out of that trade, and we could see this pull back up to our POI level, test it, and then gave us our engulfing candle. It was another sell position. I'm just trying to follow price right now. This is typically what I try to do. So I just know where I'm at in the market. And then coming into this position, if we would have entered, we would have had to get out at the support. This is like essentially like a 1-to-1 if even. But let's see what we got here. We did get, we kind of got this pullback here, and then this candle was engulfed, and then we dropped out of the resistance, and it became, or we dropped under support and it became resistance. And then from here you could have targeted that 15-minute oh no, we couldn't. We just created that. If I'm not mistaken, let me go back to the 15. I believe what I was noticing is there was supply, or demand, right down here as well. Yeah, okay, see. So I drew up this demand, and basically that is another reason why I kind of took buys, is just because coming into the day we had pushed pretty low, but we had we had that break of structure to the downside. And just because we had a break of structure to the downside, I didn't want to just start looking for sales. Essentially, I wanted price to pull back and give me some type of entry confirmation off of the POI level, which we did have here. We had our doji followed by engulfing candle on the VWAP, right? And so you could have put your stop loss above this candle and take profit, just kind of like these lows, right? I did kind of expect price to liquidate the demand. So potential, what is this? 1 to 3 risk to award. If you did take that sell, personally, I did not. I was, like I said, looking for the buy, just because I knew price, since we had a breakout to the downside, would pull back at some point. And I just thought that this closing candle right here, kind of not closing below this support, also the 15-minute, closing at this time, and the new 15-minute coming into play, right? So this was essentially where I tried to take my buy as soon as the market opened, and I was going to kind of just stop loss down here, and like I said, take it to the next POI level, which would have been the VWAP. Of course, once this first candle closed, I would have moved my stop loss up, and just knowing how I trade, I would have held this for a couple of candles, maybe even that third candle. Once we got a push to the daily previous day's close. Actually, no, this wouldn't have even been here. So yeah, once this candle hit the VWAP, I would have been out the position. And yeah, to me, it was a pretty clear setup. I know I might have over-explained some things, just because I wanted to try and give some context to like how I try to look at things. Things were unclear to me, I'm not going to lie, coming into this day, just because we did have that breakout to the downside, and then the other time frames were bullish. So I did feel a little confident because we had a bullish daily and we had a bullish 4-hour, and then that break to the downside on the 1 minute just let me know like at some point we're going to pull back, right? Yeah, but I think what ended up happening, right, so price came to here, we had a change of character, then a pullback to the VWAP, and then this 1, 2, 3, and that's kind of the trade that I ended up taking, just because I had finally switched over to my contract. I got in, and I think I just wrote this thing down to about like right to that POI level again. I didn't want to shoot for the fences. I was just happy to have actually taken a trade because it was already outside of my trading time, really. So that's kind of why I was just like, you know what. And then also I like trading the open just because it's volatile. I like the volatility. You know if you lose, you know if you win pretty quick, and you're done for the day. And you know, in this case, it would have been 2 minutes, right? So hopefully this video was provided some educational value for you. This is why I do it. So if you liked it, if that you did get that value out of it, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, because I try to just provide that insight, that candid and realistic expectation from you know, trading. You know, just with my experiences, I just try to share them so that someone who's trying to get into this industry just is able to, you know what to expect, not have unrealistic expectations. Right, so actually no, I think I took this buy as soon as this candle closed above here. I think I might have took this buy out of supply because we had been holding the support. I can't remember the exact trade I took. I know I made like $1,000, but it just wasn't the setup I wanted to. I was like salty, right? Because like once 29 hit, the data just stopped on the other contract, and then I finally switched contracts, and this move had already played out. So yeah, I'm probably not gonna leave the clip of it. I was going to, but I had to use the bathroom, so like it was really like cut off at like 8:24, so you wouldn't even see when price just cut off and how I reacted to that, because obviously didn't keep recording in the bathroom. But I did have my phone with me and I was on the charts. But that's just what happened. And hopefully you can learn from my experience. Again, like, comment, subscribe. You know, just to keep up to date. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Good luck trading, and yeah, God bless.